Now, here's a video. Let's talk. Now, did anyone notice here marks the 25th anniversary of the original X-Men movie? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And everyone knows the original X-Men movie was, of course, a 2000 superhero slash sci-fi fantasy movie. It was, of course, it was, of course, a 2000 superhero movie directed by Brian Singer. Of course, starred Hugh Jackman in his big Hollywood breakout role as, of course, as Wolverine. It also starred Halle Berry in her big Hollywood. The role that really made her pretty much famous. Okay, before that, Halle Berry was known for like films like mainly bit parts of movies like The Program and The Flintstones. Doesn't anyone remember the 90s Flintstones movie? And of course, I'll start Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart to be precise, as well as Sir Ian McKellen, James Marsden, Famke Janssen. Actually, one of Anyway, of course, it was as well as Anna Paquin in a movie that was actually a big breakout role, actually, as Rogue. Now, before that, she actually had some acting background as a child actress. She had some minor acting roles, but and then it also starred, of course, had Bruce Davidson, Rebecca Romijn. When time was known as Rebecca Romijn Stamos. She, of course, Rebecca Romijn played as Mystique. Rebecca Romijn, funnily enough, also played in a different Marvel Comics adaptation. I mean, the 2004 Punisher, if anyone remembers that movie. If anyone remembers her character in that movie, to be honest, you wouldn't even tell because of the makeup. and then there was also, and I also starred Tyler Mead, as well as also starring, some Sean Ashmore in one of his very early breakout movie roles. I don't know if X-Men was actually his first movie role, but it was one of his early movie roles. He played, of course, as Bobby Drake Iceman in a kind of a small role that when Ashmore actually signed on, he didn't actually know he would actually be returning for the sequels. Now, X-Men, the first X-Men movie also has a few other brief cameos. You've got George Baza, the voice of Beast from the original 90s X-Men animated series, appears as a truck driver. You also have a cameo by on top of that, there's also a cameo. Now, IMDb mentioned that there was a cameo by D.B. Sweeney, who is listed as playing a cop on IMDb, but I can't find anything in the movie to indicate. But there's like hardly anything to indicate that he was actually in the film playing as a cop. It's mentioned in a trivia page that apparently made a cameo, so it must have been a really quick cameo. Now, if X-Men, when it came out in 2000, it was, of course, a massive success. And it, of course, launched arguably one of the biggest superhero movie franchises, one of the biggest blockbuster movie franchises in general, one of the biggest superhero movies franchises in particular, right behind Batman, Spider-Man, and eventually the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, X-Men really paved the way for a new generation of comic book, for like the future, for like the next generation of comic book movies, like next generation of superhero films. Like, before X-Men, you, of course, you had Blade, and then afterwards you had Spider-Man, and all these other movies, like Fantastic Hulk, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Punisher, Ghost Rider, and eventually led to the most making. So X-Men really birthed an era of big budget superhero movies that still goes on to this day. So every 25 years, and plus, big part of a lot of people's childhoods, including mine. I mean, who guys remember watching X-Men as kids? First movie in particular, like, who here remembers watching it first movie for the first time as little kids?